Unnecessary make it complex. It's not complex, it's spiritual. You can't teach something spiritual. I can teach you to meditate, I can teach you to understand who you are. I can teach
তার ব্যক্তিগত অভিজ্ঞতা থেকে কিছু বিষয় আমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করেছে। সেগুলো হচ্ছে যে লাইক আমাদের একটা মাইন্ডসেট থাকা উচিত। ফাইন, আপনাদের সামনে আবার নতুন আরেকটি লাইভ নিয়ে উপস্থিত হয়েছি এবং বরাবরের মতো আমাদের সাথে আছে আমাদের মিস্টার হামজা।
ওহায়ো গোজাইমাসু, ওয়াতাশি ওয়া হামজা দেসু।
So, translate into English.
Hello everyone, it's Hamza again.
Okay. So, যেহেতু আমরা জানি যে হামজা হচ্ছে যে জাপানিজ জানে, as well as he knows English very well. So that's why sometimes he will translate Japanese to English, English to Japanese. And I only know the English and the Bengali. So that's why আমি শুধুমাত্র ওই দুটাই পারবো, এর বাইরে কিছু পারার সুযোগ নেই। তো আজকে যেহেতু আমাদের সাথে আছে হচ্ছে গিয়ে মিস্টার হামজা, তো আমরা একটু হামজার আজকে শুনবো। আজকের হামজার আলোচনার টপিকটা কি?
How to remove anxiety while speaking to other people.
Okay, only the anxiety or any other things that we can
or nervousness, or you can think of it this way: how to appear confident while speaking in front of other people.
Okay, so great. Now tell me, do you like public speaking?
Yes, I love public speaking. In fact, I think public speaking is a skill which everybody should have. It doesn't matter what your profession is. It doesn't even matter if you're in a profession.
Okay.
Public speaking is something everybody should do, whether you're a house helper or whether you're in a corporation, it doesn't matter. It's a life skill.
How can you define that this is a life skill? That means how public speaking is connected with our real life.
Yes, why am I categorizing public speaking as a life skill, something which is not negotiable, something which I am saying we have to learn? It's not up for debate. Well, I think that public speaking means manifesting who you are as a person, manifesting your personality.
Okay.
And I think that's not up for debate. We all came to this earth for many reasons, and I think one of those reasons is finding out who you are as a person. And if you want to find out who you are as a person, you have to understand your personality. And if you want to understand your personality, you have to manifest that personality, and that means public speaking.
So sometimes we feel so many barriers in manifesting our public speaking or publicly telling something to the people. So not only in English language, in case of Bengali language, we also feel the same kinds of shyness while we are interacting with the people in publicly. So what do you think that, or what will be the possible solution to improve your public speaking skill?
Actually, we all go through a phase in our lives where we're questioning who we are, our teenage years. I remember my teenage years very vividly. I was not sure who I was as a person.
Okay.
How should I act? As an adult, it's easy to act a certain way, and as a child, it's easy to act a certain way. But when we're teenagers, we don't know how to act. Oh, should I act this way or that way? We don't know what our personality is.
Okay.
So in our teenage years, we try to define what our personality is, and then we try to manifest it. So that's how to overcome our fear of public speaking. Understand your personality. Once you understand what your personality is, you can't go wrong. There's no room for error.
Should it be trained from the very early stages of human life?
If you think of it as an academic skill, it's going to get complicated.
How?
Like any skill.
Most of the cases we know that public speaking is like something like the academic skill or something like this.
Yes, but if you treat it as an academic skill,
yes,
then people will also treat it as an academic skill, and they will unnecessarily make it complex. It's not complex, it's spiritual. You can't teach something spiritual. I can teach you to meditate, I can teach you to understand who you are, I can teach you to dream certain things. These are all things you have to figure out for yourself. And public speaking is something spiritual. It means connecting with who you are. If you treat it as an academic skill, people will also treat it as an academic skill, and they'll make it overly complex, and they're going to go in the wrong direction.
So how did you improve your public speaking skill? As you said that you have improved your public speaking and you like it, right?
Like many things, like my accent, I improved my public speaking through vlogging. So the more I ventured into vlogging, the more I realized that I'm manifesting my personality more clearly. I'm understanding who I am as a person. And once I answered those questions clearly, like I did in my teenage years, for example, in my teenage years, I did not know how to behave. I wanted to behave in a certain way. I wanted people to perceive me in a certain way, and that took time. And public speaking also took time. And ultimately, I realized that public speaking is a matter of understanding who you are and just projecting that inner personality. That's it. Forget about who you're speaking with. Just be relaxed, understand who you are, and project that understanding. That's it. I just abide by those guidelines, and I think I'm a good public speaker.
How can you assess that you are a very good public speaker?
I can self-assess that I am a good public speaker because I get no nervousness at all. I need no preparation at all. I don't care what anybody is thinking.
But it was not happen in your early ages or early stages?
No, that didn't happen in my early ages. Before, I used to get nervous. I used to take preparation. I used to be conscious about what other people were thinking about me, and now none of those things take place. Now I feel confident before, after, during the whole process.
Okay, so what should we do? Suppose I have a fear of public speaking and I feel shy while I am interacting to people, even a single person. So not a lot of or a group of people. What should be a possible solution or suggestion for me if I want to start my first public speaking and if I want to remove my fearness?
You have to remember that nobody is your enemy. Nobody is going to listen to you and hope that you make a mistake.
But we have a phobia and we have a phobia about our society, right? So most of the cases we think, and it also happens that while I'm talking to my friend and I'm talking to my my family person, so they just tell me, oh, বাংলা ভালো করে জানে না, ইংরেজি বলতে আসছে, something like this. So how can we avoid this? It was really tough for our society to avoid this, right?
We all stutter every now and then. We all make the occasional grammatical mistake. We even change our voice sometimes. Sometimes my voice is a little overly high-pitched. Sometimes my voice is a little overly low-pitched.
Okay.
Now, remember that these things will happen all the time.
Okay.
Just because these things happen, that doesn't mean that you're not a good public speaker. Public speaking is something else. Public speaking is, do you feel confident throughout the whole time when you're speaking with somebody? Do you have a clear understanding of what your own personality is? Do you feel relaxed whatever the situation is? If the answer to all those questions is yes, then you're a good public speaker.
That means you wanted to tell me that firstly I should make a good mindset, right?
Yes.
That there can be many things happening in my society and someone can poke me, someone can insult me, right? আমরা এখন যেটা নিয়ে আলোচনা করছিলাম যে আমরা কিভাবে পাবলিক স্পিকিং এর ফিয়ারটাকে রিমুভ করব। তো এর ভিতরে হামজা তার ব্যক্তিগত অভিজ্ঞতা থেকে কিছু বিষয় আমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করেছে। সেগুলো হচ্ছে যে লাইক আমাদের একটা মাইন্ডসেট থাকা উচিত, আমাদের সোসাইটিতে এরকম থাকবেই, আর এটা আসলে কোনো একাডেমিক স্টাডি না বা একাডেমিক পড়াশোনা না। যে জিনিসটা হচ্ছে যে আমরা একাডেমিক্যালি আমরা আসলে পাবলিক স্পিকিংকে ইমপ্রুভ করব, এটা হচ্ছে এমন একটা বিষয় যে বিষয়টা হলো আসলে পাবলিক স্পিকিং এটা আমাদের ডেইলি লাইফ অ্যাক্টিভিটিস থেকেই আসলে আমাদেরকে করতে হবে। এটার জন্য কেউ আমাদের জন্য কোনো সিচুয়েশন ক্রিয়েট করবে না যেখান থেকে আমার পাবলিক স্পিকিং গ্রো করবে। যেমন হামজা বলেছে সে ব্লগিং করেছিল এক সময়, সেই ব্লগিং থেকে আমাদের তার পাবলিক স্পিকিংটা একটু ইমপ্রুভ করেছে, ঠিক আছে? তো ওকে, so I want to ask next question to Mr. Hamza. So if we want to differentiate between the adult and the child, so how can we improve, or how a child can improve his or her public speaking skill?
Actually, when we're children, we're overly caught up with our friends. I remembered my middle school days. The only thing that was on my mind was I need to play with my friends. I'm going to play tag with my friends. I'm going to play badminton with my friends. I'm going to tell some jokes. So we're overly caught up with our friends, and we don't think about life skills. We don't think that, oh, I need to improve this skill and that skill. So if a child wants to improve their public speaking, they need to get out of that thinking that, oh, I need to be with my friends. No, your life is not friends.
No, basically, you know that I talk to few kids, and they share me experience that they don't have any fear of this. They speak anywhere with anyone, with anything. So they don't have that public speaking fearness that we think that we are adults. Someone think that, oh, you are literate, you have a certificate, but you can speak publicly. So that is really very shameful thing. But in case of child, this is not happening, right? So what do you think?
Actually, the child's mentality is like this. I'm a child. You will laugh at me no matter what I say.
Okay.
If I'm being confident, if I'm being nervous, it doesn't matter. If I'm telling a joke, if I'm being serious, it doesn't matter. You're going to laugh at me regardless of what I say. So that's a child's thinking. That's why they don't get nervous. The only outcome is failure. That's what they think. That's why they don't get nervous, and they don't think about life skills. They don't think about, oh, what am I going to do as an adult? They don't think all these complex thoughts. All they think about is, oh, I have to play with my friends, or I have to have some candy, or I have to stay up late at night, or my mom is yelling at me. That's all they think about.
How should we start? That means, how should we introduce ourselves to the unknown person? This is one of the most important part in public speaking, and most of the cases people fear to interact with someone, right?
That's the most practical form of public speaking. How am I going to introduce myself to somebody I haven't met yet? And now that depends on the situation. What is the environment? What is the mentality of the person you are speaking with? Do you even want to speak to that person? That depends. You can't treat it as a task. If you treat it as a task, you won't think some basic commonsensical thoughts like, I don't like this person, I'm not going to speak to that person. No. If you treat that as a task, you're not going to think some basic thoughts. So remember to be practical, think some basic thoughts, and if you really do have to speak to a person, just remember to be a friendly version of yourself. If you tell yourself, I am going to transform to a friendly version of myself, then you're going to see that, yeah, the public speaking is going to...
I just want to know what will be the word or the phrases that first we use, hi or hello or something like this. What?
Actually, that's going to depend from person to person. So, some people will
suppose I am a totally unknown person, and I am roaming around the train station. I am waiting for my train, and you are also the same. You are a passenger.
Okay.
But somehow we need to pass the time, and I thought that I should talk to you because you are sitting just by me. Then how can I start first talking to you?
Okay, so now you gave me a scenario. So now the situation is different because now I know what the environment is. Okay, first I'm going to observe you. What kind of person are you? How old are you? And I have to make an assumption of where you're from. I have to make the assumption that you're from Dhaka. I have to make the assumption that you're not from the village. I have to make many sort of assumptions before I even start speaking with you.
Okay.
And then I have to make more assumptions. Would you enjoy it if I spoke to you in a formal tone, or would you enjoy it if I spoke to you in an informal tone? Would you like having tea or would you like having coffee? After making all those assumptions, then I will begin speaking with you. Then I would say something like, oh, sir, you were here for a while. I think you're thirsty. Would you like me to buy you some tea? I would say something like that. You have to make all sorts of assumptions before you start speaking. It's not something academic. It's not something you can go by memorization. Nobody can give you any training. You have to think many things and then begin.
খুব মজার কথা প্রিয় দর্শক, সেটা হচ্ছে গিয়ে সে বলেছে, আমি তাকে একটা সিচুয়েশন বর্ণনা করেছি, একটা কনটেক্সট বর্ণনা করেছি। সেই কনটেক্সটটা ছিল এরকম যে আমি রেল স্টেশনে, আমি এবং সে দুজনেই, হামজা দুজনেই হচ্ছেন প্যাসেঞ্জার এবং ট্রেনের জন্য ওয়েট করছি, এবং এটা অনেকক্ষণ যাবত করছি, সামনে আরও অনেকক্ষণ যাবত করতে হবে। সো এই টাইমটাতে আমার পক্ষে বসে থাকাটা খুবই টাফ। এই কারণে আমি ভাবছি যে তার সাথে আমি কথা বলবো। এখন এটাও একটা পাবলিক স্পিকিংয়ের মধ্যে পড়ে বা পাবলিক ইন্টারাকশনের ভিতরে পড়ে। সেটা আমরা কিভাবে শুরু করব আসলে? তখন সে আমাকে বলেছে যে আসলে সে আমাকে দেখে মেজার করার চেষ্টা করবে, বা আমি তাকে দেখে মেজার করার চেষ্টা করব, তার ড্রেস কোড, তার মানে চাহনির স্টাইল, তার বডি ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ থেকে আমি অ্যাজাম্পশন করার চেষ্টা করব বা ধারণা করার চেষ্টা করব সে কী ধরনের ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড থেকে এসেছে, কী ধরনের ফ্যামিলি বিলং করে। সেই অনুযায়ী তখন আমি তার সাথে আমি কি তার সাথে প্রথম আসলে হাই হ্যালো দিয়ে শুরু করব, আমি কি তাকে প্রথম কোনো একটা চা বা কফি অফার করব, আমি আসলে কোন ধরনের ইন্টারাকশনে তার সাথে আগে যাব, সেটা আমি তার আগে প্রথমে আমি প্রচুর অ্যাজাম্পশন করার চেষ্টা করব, ঠিক আছে? সেই অ্যাজাম্পশনগুলো দিয়ে আমি তাকে বোঝানোর চেষ্টা করব যে আসলে তার সাথে আমি কিভাবে আসলে যাব, ঠিক আছে? এরপরে গিয়ে আমি আসলে তার সাথে কথা বলা শুরু করব। এটা আসলে মেইনলি হামজা, আমি যদি ভুল না করে থাকি, ইজ ইট দ্য ওয়ে?
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
হ্যাঁ, আচ্ছা, এটাই আসলে হামজা বলতে চেয়েছে এবং হামজার কাছ থেকে আমরা মূলত আসলে এটাই জানার চেষ্টা করেছি। যত নিজে থেকেই মন চাইবে না, কিন্তু নিজের মনের বিরুদ্ধে গিয়ে আননোন পার্সনের সাথে গিয়ে কথা বলতে হবে, মিশতে হবে, তাহলে হয়তো পাবলিক স্পিকিংয়ে ভালো করা সম্ভব। তো আজকে আমরা কথা বলেছিলাম হচ্ছে হাউ টু ওভারকাম দ্য ফিয়ার অফ পাবলিক স্পিকিং। তো এটা নিয়ে আমরা কথা বলছিলাম হচ্ছে হামজার সাথে। তো আমরা আর বেশি কন্টিনিউ করতে চাচ্ছি না। সো ডু ইউ হ্যাভ এনি লাস্ট সাজেশন ফর আওয়ার অডিয়েন্স?
Yes, don't be nervous, be relaxed, try to find out who you are and just take it easy.
ওকে, গ্রেট। তাহলে আপনাদের সবাইকে অশেষ ধন্যবাদ। আমাদের সাথেই থাকবেন, ট্যালেন্ট হান্টের সাথে থাকবেন, ট্যালেন্ট হান্টকে ভালোবাসবেন, ট্যালেন্ট হান্ট আপনাদেরকে অনেক কিছু দিবে ইনশাল্লাহ। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ।